Welcome back. My name's Dave, and this is Machinist Siding, my in-scale layout. Today we're continuing on with the Buckman kit, the what do they call it? Car shop or car repair shop. As I said last week, this is a very simple model, and of course I couldn't leave well enough alone, and I went off and did a whole bunch of things. So we're going to finish off the interior steel structure. I mean, it's not steel. It's made out of evergreen plastic, but it would be steel framing, and if it was the real thing. So, which one do we go to? Let's see. Let's go. Let's do this. Okay, here it is, and I'm using my my steel plate again, as I almost always do when I build. These squares, these squares, I have magnets on the bottom of them, so they stick to the, so the magnets aren't overly powerful, but they're enough to keep it in place. So what are we going to do here? Well, I've got magnets holding the trusses in their location. I've already done most of this because it's not riveting video, and I'm just going to show you what I've done or how I've done it, and then I think maybe we'll put the windows in. I painted the roof, so maybe we'll put the windows in Conquest for the day. I also painted the concrete foundation. Concrete foundation on the outside of the building. I'm going to have to mask all that off and then paint the building. I already have a rattle can that I think is the right color for this building. So here we go. Now I'm going to reach back here and get my super glue, my accelerator. And grab this. I tend to decant the super glue and put it on a little plastic cup. This cup right here. And then clean the tip of the super glue bottle off and put the lid back on. All right. Grab a, if you haven't seen before, I use these very small Q-tips to apply glue. So what I'm going to do here, pick up some super glue and put that in place. A little bit of activator. There we go. Go to the other end. Put super glue there. My biggest problem with doing this is, oh, here, I'll use this. I just need something to prop up my my little Q-tip. All right, and again, spritz. And now I can just move this away and put some glue and again spritz. And there's one more that needs glue. Pick up. Push out over here. Spray that. All right, now I'm going to take this. Gotta be careful here, I don't want to break anything. I'll just get these magnets out of the way for now for a second. So now, you can see we have, oh, I guess if I move that out of the way, you'll be able to see it. So we have a pretty, all right. Now the only thing left to do on this, aside from putting the lights in when I want to do the lighting, is to put one more little piece of styrene along the edge here. And to do that, what I did, I do it that way? I must have. So now I'm going to take these magnets, and I'm only going to use half of them. Flip this around, I think. Yeah, that's better. They line up better that way. What I'm doing now is I'm just putting this magnet. Oh, I see why I couldn't do that. Or I understand. Okay, I do have to do it this way. And we'll get one more and put it in here. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a piece of evergreen right angle, and again and I'm just using the magnets to give me the height I want for this piece of right angle. Again, I'm just going to do one. I'm going to do the end. We got this here. And now okay. Now I should be able to lift. There we go. So we have the completed interior substructure of the building. I cut this small evergreen longer than I needed it to be. So I'm just going to come in with a pair of cutters and there we go. That's it. So I'm going to take this over to the paint booth and paint that. But while we're here, I've painted these roof a gray color, and now I'm going to put the windows in. So again, this is not exactly an overly difficult procedure. Take the window, a little bit of glue here, a little bit of glue here, as I said, I couldn't leave well enough alone. I didn't like the way the windows were designed, so I just copied their design in Lightburn, which is the software from my laser, and was able to quickly, and I mean quickly, make at least drop the files. And I think it didn't take very long for this to cut out. It's cut out of 1/16, which I think is 2.5 millimeters or something like that. Birch plywood. I have several different thicknesses of birch. Just put out a little bit more glue here. Oops, forgot to wipe it off. Okay, I'm not going to do it on the paper. I'm going to take this paper up. We've got a little bit of the, I don't know if you can see it or not, but right here the super glue did stick to the parchment paper. So I'm going to move the parchment paper out. Because I don't need that anymore anyway. Alright, grab one of the windows and continue on. Now this will be the last thing I do in this video. So all I'm doing is putting just a touch of super glue on the upright outside edges. So a little bit of there, flip it over, a little bit of there. The fit is fairly tight, so I'm pretty sure that it's going to stick. I could probably not even glue them, they would stay, but now for glazing, I have some frosted or smoked mylar that I've been using, and that's what I'm going to use to glaze this. This time around, I'm going to remember to take off the protective plastic sheet that's on the mylar. I didn't on the engine shed. I didn't know that there was an extra plastic shed or plastic piece on the mylar, and so all of those windows still have that. They are glued in place, and they still have that protective. Okay, so one and two. I'll get a fine pair of tweezers here, and I'll pick that off the edge there. Just looking. Okay. So as I said, I've already I painted the bottom where there was a molded in foundation, so I painted that up with some IDF gray and I think it was deck tan. No, it was concrete. It was concrete. And so those are ready to be. I've got to now take some fine Tamiya tape and tape off they have a molded in separation between the siding and the edges of the roof, and I want that to be I want that to remain this gray, so I'm going to go around and tape that off, and then of course I'll mask the bottoms here where the concrete color is, and then I'll spray paint the building. So I want to thank you for watching. I'm trying to keep these a little bit shorter, and as always, take care of yourself, take care of your family, and I'll see you next week with a new video.